Peace and blessings. My name is Carlos Walker, and this is Art and Hustle Black Authors Matter. And today I have Mr. Dave Anderson. How you doing, sir?
Carlos, it's a pleasure, man. I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Man, perfect. So
Good.
before we get into this, the people for those who may not know you, if you will share who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Dave Anderson. I'm a business coach, speaker, 22-time best-selling author. My latest book is called The Real Black Agenda, available everywhere, especially at therealblackagenda.com. I started my career in radio, retired, and realized I was making more money for corporations than I was for myself. And so that's why I left the corporate world and the world of entertainment so that I could actually go out here and make some moves for myself. And, it's like anything else, it's ups and downs, but I got to tell you, the ups are great. So you accept the downs.
I love the way you said that. A lot of people need to know that because they are
Yes.
scared and in fear of walking in faith and
Mhm.
trusting that they got ups coming.
Yes, sir. It's hard, man. I think a lot of times people have been fed this steady diet of, oh, entrepreneurship is sexy. And if I'm not backing up the Brinks truck or if I'm not sitting in a Lambo, then somehow I failed. And a lot of that stuff, you got to realize, man, a lot of these gurus out here owe me money.
Come on now.
So when I look at what I've seen, I know why people get discouraged and people make it out to be easy. I don't. I tell people all the time, it is work, and my whole thing is there's nothing in this life that comes easy. You got to choose your hard. And for me, I constantly choose the hard of not having a boss. I constantly choosing the hard of getting up when I want to. I constantly choose the hard of being there for my family, as opposed to
Yeah, that's not a
going in and
job.
saying, "Yow's a boss," and yes, sir, we having chicken wing Thursdays because we all made the quota and got you a big old bonus, boss. Like, no, it's just not built like. I'm not anti-job for the rest of the world. I'm anti-job for me because I'm a horrible employee, but I'm a great business owner.
Some people need work
Yes,
because
yes,
they're undisciplined. You
yes.
learn how to be disciplined in yourself,
Oh
so
yes.
it works for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you will, a couple of your books. I do
Sure.
want you to talk about a few of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can talk about the new one last.
Yes, sir.
Share the most inspirational or influential ones that you like. Tell the people why you created them, and then what made you why you created.
Okay, so my top three books out of all 22 books that I've written, aside from the new one, is 101 Ways to Get Shit Done.
Mhm.
And I wrote that book because people can say, I don't have like there's people I know who have if I had their time, I'd be a billionaire,
Come on now.
you know, and they're like, I don't have the time, I'm so busy. I'm like, you ain't got no employees.
Mm.
You ain't worried about making payroll. You don't have a wife or a spouse or children, but you're so busy. Doing what? Making excuses? So I wrote 101 ways to get shit done so that we could just knock off the excuses. Pitch, close, upsell, repeat, I wrote because people did not understand the basics of sales. And if somebody said no, they just be like, okay, and then they go home. And I wanted to show people that if you have a process, you don't need to worry about thinking. And so I created a process that doesn't require you to think, it just requires you to execute. The third most and probably the most, critically acclaimed inspirational book that I have is Sell It Like Jesus, which is Principles and Strategies of the World's Greatest Salesman. Because people say, well, I'm a Christian, I can't sell. And, selling is for icky people with bad moral fiber and horrible ethics. And I'm like, well, Jesus been selling for 2,000 years. Number one merch person in the history of the world. Number one best-selling book
Book
in
in
the
the
history of the
world.
world. Period. He is the Michael Jackson of books. You understand what I'm saying? He collects 33 to 38 million dollars a week from the black church alone in tithes and offerings. And aside from that, there's only one person aside from Jesus that has had more books written about him, and that's Muhammad Ali.
Come on now. I didn't know
So
that.
that to me says everything. So if you can understand that a perfect person understood the importance of conveying a message, understanding who was going to listen to him and who wasn't, understanding that even if you sacrifice, there's going to be people who don't appreciate it, and you have to continue to move. Right? You can't get caught up in other people's opinions of you. Who do you say I am? You know, like render on the Caesar what is Caesar's. I ain't worried about that. I'm here on a mission. If we are mission driven and mission focused, you are able to understand that sales is a very natural thing. And when sales gets corrupted, then that's when you got to turn the tables over. So Sell It Like Jesus, Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat, and 101 Ways to Get Shit Done are I would say my top 3 favorite books.
Hmm. So being an author,
Mm-hmm.
Be ready to leave in like 5 minutes.
how has your journey been? Because everybody that becomes an author, most people, they say they only sell, according to I guess you could say Google or anything, they say most authors only sell up to 250 books
In their
in their
lifetime.
lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is crazy, and it's for a few reasons. But
Mm-hmm.
how has your life been as an author?
Wow. I would love to tell you it's been horrible. It hasn't. Listen, 250 books in a week is a bad week for me.
Good God.
You know, but the other part of that, and again, I don't believe in just showing you the magic trick. I would rather show you the trapdoors, the smoke in the mirrors, and the twin supermodels, so it looks like I'm cutting them in half. What it is I started my career in 1987, so I know how to speak to people. I know how to broadcast. I understand marketing. A lot of people get into the book game or the self-publishing game, which is what we're speaking of specifically, and they think that they're an author. No. I am not an author. You call me an author because I wrote the books. I'm a book salesman.
Come on now.
I sell books for a living. Okay.
I said
Whether
book.
whether I'm on a stage, whether I'm coaching, I'm selling a book.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, if you become a coaching client, you're a
Go
part
buy
of
that
my
book.
story. You go buy that book and you might even be featured in the book if you're a success story, you know how to listen. What people don't understand about being an author is that writing the book is the hard part, but it's the easiest of all the hard parts.
Mhm.
I tell people it's the closest thing to a man having a baby that will ever experience, because you're like, oh, I've got an idea. I'm going to write a book. Then you get pregnant with the idea. Then you start typing the idea like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then once it's done, then you got to get it edited. And then you got to look at the cover. And then you got to start putting the thing up. And then and then all of a sudden when it's out, you think I'm done. Like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. No.
You gotta
Every
raise
single
it.
day,
You
you got to
gotta
raise
raise it
that
now.
book. You got to raise its awareness in the world. You have to show people why that book is important. You have to constantly push it. And then people say, oh, I've done the book and I'm done. No. Listen, the Bible is still selling. How to Win Friends and Influence People is
Still
still
selling.
selling.
People
right?
dead.
The Communist Manifesto is still selling.
Mhm.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad is still selling. Think and Grow Rich is still selling. And everybody I named, with the exception of one person who wrote those books, all dead. Book is still selling. I will constantly push a book. You know, I wrote Sell It Like Jesus in 2015. I still push it like I wrote it last week. Same thing with this new book, The Real Black Agenda. I'm constantly pushing the book because to somebody it's a brand new book. It's like, you know, singing ABCDEFG to a 4-year-old versus singing it to a 26-year-old.
It's brand new to him.
It's brand new to him. So that's where people go wrong. So I don't have a problem with being successful. And I'm not saying that I'm always, you know, moving units, but I look, again, 250 in a week is a bad week for me. So I don't have the problem that most authors have because I operate from a different place, because I've got systems in place, you know.
Explain the importance of systems.
So if you are a person that can make, like my mom, it depends on the day, but I would say my mother makes the best cheeseburger I've ever had.
Mm.
McDonald's makes a mediocre cheeseburger, but my
I would
mom
say
can't
trash,
make
but
my mom can't make a cheeseburger for billions of people.
come on now.
The system is what makes that. You got the speedy system, you got the drive-through system, you've got the app, you've got the points. All of those things play in. Happy Meals, all of that plays in. Plus, there's a cultural aspect to it. There's top of mind recognition. If you don't have systems, then you're just my mom in the kitchen making a good burger only 20 people have ever had.
Mm. But when the system is in place, you do what McDonald's done.
That's it, and that's all.
So, if you will, now let's move into, I guess you could say, the meat of the conversation.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about this new book.
Yeah. The Real Black Agenda. I wrote it because I got sick of black people talking about nobody had any solution. So I wrote 30,000 words of solution for you. I think we need to stop looking for people to hand us stuff and start taking the reins into our own hands. We're the only community in America, arguably the world, if you want to consider the diaspora, that relies on somebody else's generosity or good nature in order to
Move
be
forward.
successful and to
Mhm.
move forward. We wait for somebody else to sign us. We wait for somebody else to hire us. We wait for somebody else to feed us. We wait for somebody else to clothe us. We wait for somebody else to advocate for us. And we do not do a good job of advocating for ourselves outside of voting, rhetoric, hashtags, and memes.
Mhm.
And this book breaks all of that down. And I welcome people to head to therealblackagenda.com and pick it up for themselves. There's an audio book. There is a graphic novel. There's so many different ways to get the book that I hope people go out here and get it.
Matter of fact, I did hear you speak recently about the graphic novel.
Mhm.
Explain that, because that's the first time I want to say that I've ever heard of something this serious topic wise
Mhm.
being a graphic novel.
When I was a kid, I found most reading boring. I could read anything, but like I needed something exciting. And my big brother was huge on comic books. And I learned a lot from comic books. I understood the gold standard because of comic books and why the American government got off of the gold standard from a Punisher and Spider-Man comic. And so when you're not paying attention and you're being entertained, you'd be surprised how much you can get educated, you know.
Mhm.
And so for me, I'm like, okay, you don't like to read, but you like a comic book, you like a manga, you'll watch anime. So I'm gonna give you something that you're gonna enjoy that still teaches those principles.
That's probably one of the smartest ideas that I've ever heard, because I understand, probably to your just like yourself,
Hmm.
most people learn visually.
Yeah,
A lot of people visually, some auditory, then the other ones are kinesthetic, and you learn how to give it to them through that visual aspect, the way that some people need to be able to be taught.
right.
And
Absolutely.
you don't see a lot of books that does that. So
No.
I tip my hat to you.
Thank you, brother.
And another thing that I would love to ask you
Hmm.
is about the Black Agenda.
Yeah.
You shared why you done it.
Hmm.
You recently went on the Breakfast Club
Yeah,
and had a conversation with them.
I did.
Now we ain't seen this interview yet. Hopefully it'll come out soon. Hopefully.
We're hoping.
But if not, can you share about, I know you went on there about the book, so I know you was pressing this book.
Sure.
What could they not have liked?
A lot of times, Carlos, you can go into a situation with the best of intentions. You can go into a situation trying to help. You can go into a situation understanding that um, people aren't used to people coming with receipts. They're used to people coming with gimmicks. I'm not a
Mhm.
gimmick guy. And I have done the show 3, 4 times before. So it's not like it was not known as to who I was or what I was about. And I've heard varying accounts as to why this interview has not seen the light of day. And most of them don't make any sense based on my 3+ decades of broadcast experience. I wish I could tell you I went up there like Birdman and said, I was going to pull up on a tree of y'all, put some respect on my. I didn't do none of that. Right. I wish I could tell you that I threatened somebody like Beans threatened Charlemagne. I can't tell you I did that. I wish I could tell you that I chin checked him like Monique did, but I can't. I went in there, I gave them each a $2 million revenue plan for free, didn't try to pitch nobody anything. I was there to promote the book. But a lot of times, there are people who believe, and I don't have any evidence to back this up, but there are people who believe that sometimes a message is so powerful that the gatekeepers don't want it to see the light of day. I
Mhm.
didn't run from this. This isn't the real minority agenda. It's not the real person of color agenda. It's not
Black
the real.
agenda.
It's not the real. BIPOC agenda. It's the real black agenda. And when you say black in there,
Mhm.
and the other part of that is the thing that's different this time that I went up there versus the last time is I'm almost 350 pounds lighter than what I was the last time. See, when you're big and fat and you're talking general business stuff, you're not a threat. But when you start talking about mobilization, when you're calling balls and strikes and holding Democrats and Republicans accountable, when you're talking about what we need to do in our communities, when you're talking about real things and the fact that there are abortion clinics and liquor stores and weed dispensaries everywhere, but we don't have, fully comprehensive medical care for women.
Come
And
on.
our women have been experimented on. The gynecological system was built on the pain and the backs and the uteruses of Black women, and we don't have those types of facilities in our neighborhoods as much as we have a Planned Parenthood or abortion clinic
Come
or
on.
any of the things to destroy our community and keep us from being fruitful and multiplying. Then it becomes a conversation. Well, this person's a doula, and this one person over here, and this one person's a midwife, but are Black people as a whole have any other options when they're in that situation? The answer is no. And if it becomes a money thing, then the question has to be, explain Serena Williams, who almost died giving birth, explain Beyonce Knowles, who almost died giving birth. And then when you start talking about those things and that the abortion clinics have been on those platforms, that the Democrats love those platforms. If Joe Biden can sit up there and tell you, if you having a hard time trying to decide between me and Trump, then you ain't Black, if
Come on
that's
now.
acceptable. But me saying that we need to do better, we need to grow ourselves, we need to prioritize our health, we need to be able to have food co-ops, and we need to start talking about the fact that there's too many food deserts, that little girls are scared to tell their daddies and their mommies that they're pregnant, and so they're going to the vacuum doctor. But anecdotally, every woman I've ever come across who looks like me, wears my skin, who has had an abortion or that type of procedure, has had some type of reproductive issue later on in life. We don't talk about those things, but we got time to march Dr. Fauci's behind up in there.
Come
We
on
got
now.
time to look at Dank DeMoss up in there. We got time for foolishness and memes and hashtags. You got Dr. Umar running around like Dashiki Dumbledore promising a Hotep Hogwarts that still hasn't been delivered on. But I'm the problem.
I promise
So
you.
that's all I can say, bro. I don't know for sure. Maybe one day they'll release it. I have the footage. I have not released it. But if people keep asking for it, I might have to.
Hey, out of respect, I mean, hey, if they give you the footage and, like you say, you giving them the opportunity.
But again, that's on them. And my whole thing is one donkey don't stop no show.
Come on now. Donkey of the day. But last, is
Sure.
there anything in the works?
Yes, November 18th, I'm dropping the follow-up to the Real Black Agenda. It's called Weapons of Mass Distraction. I finished it right after I finished writing the Real Black Agenda. I went right from that to Weapons of Mass Distraction, because what was happening was, and the Real Black Agenda is a complete book, but you ever get in an argument with somebody and then you turn back around like, and another thing. The Real Black Agenda sets the table. The Weapons of Mass Distraction book, is the meal. It shows you exactly why they continue to give us bread and circuses, why they continue to play in our face, why they continue to give us reality shows and twerking videos and Sexy Red and Love Island, or almost calling
keep
maybe
our
his
mind
Blueface,
distracted.
to keep you distracted, so that you're not paying attention to what's happening. You worrying about a president with 34 felonies, but you're not worried about the fact that there are indictments that just somehow move out the way. You're worrying about whether or not, Trump is making it easy for his so-called business friends to make money, but you ain't questioned Nancy Pelosi once. Why? Because she put on some kente cloth and took a knee like Colin Kaepernick? You got to be kidding me.
Come
So
on now.
if you're going to be distracted, I'm going to point out all the distractions, from Andy Cohen to Jimmy Iovine to all of them. And when I tell you, if you thought this one was a problem, this next one's going to be a disaster.
Come on now. I love this.
So that's what's next, bro.
So before we go,
Yes, sir.
I need two things.
Sure.
Where can they find your books? Where can they find you? And then last, I need a word of wisdom to anybody out there, whether they're an author, no matter where they're at in life. Give them something that they can actually feed off of later. Words that God give you.
Okay, so the first thing I'll say, you can find me on all platforms at The Business Bully, except for X, which is DA Business Bully, as in Dave Anderson, not duh. 2, I will tell people you can get the book at therealblackagenda.com, because I don't want Amazon taking my money.
Come on, man.
And finally, the one thing that I will say is, I have been homeless. I've washed my nuts in the gas station sink. I have been told that I was absolutely wonderful by people, and the next day they said crucify him. what I am telling you is the difference between me and most people, and the difference between those of you who resonate with this message and those of you who don't, is I'm not going to give up. I tell my daughters, you're an Anderson. We do not give up. If you give up, you've let them win. George W. Bush said, if you stop your way of life because of the threat of someone else doing something that's keeping you from what it is you're destined to do, then the terrorists have already won. I fight terrorism every day by not giving up, and I encourage you to join the fight against the emotional terrorism in your life, whether that is your friends, your family, your spouse, your cousin, your pastor, or your negative self-talk. I need you to get up off of your assets and start moving them, so that you can be an asset to yourself, to your family, and to your legacy. My name is Dave Anderson. You can find me at The Business Bully. Carlos, thank you so much for the platform, brother.
Man, this is my honor, man. Look, you already know you're one of my mentors. Look,
Yes, sir.
hey, and I'm always appreciative of your words, of your hardness.
Thank you.
Because guess what?
Yes, sir.
If people only want those that are going to cuddle them in life, they ain't going to go nowhere. Hate to
You
say
ain't
it.
never lied.
You
You ain't
need
never lied.
you need true friends, and friends tell you the truth,
That's
even when
it.
you don't like it. So I appreciate all the hardness. I appreciate all the books that you wrote. As I tell
Thank you.
everybody, our ancestors are rolling in their grave of proudness.
That's
Because
it.
guess what? At one point we couldn't read, they wouldn't allow us to read nor write. And here we are today. We are authors, writers, readers, everything that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And we got something to be proud of, but we also, as you've been stating, we got to get off our assets and move forward as a community to make this thing jump even more.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you so much. Blessings to you and your platform. I'll talk to you
And
soon.
blessings to you. Love you, man.
Love you, brother. See you
My,
soon.
my name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle, Black Authors Matter, and this is Mr. Dave Anderson, the business bully. Blessings.
Blessings.